truly steaks on
Everybody.
the bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger, so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
Severe weather moving through the south this Sunday. Parts of Arkansas, Alabama, and Missouri getting hit hard by rain, hail, and gusty winds.
It made me sad to see my hometown for I knew that the people here would be taken care of because Perryton is a great community.
Deadly storms hit Texas earlier this week, including an EF3 tornado that killed 3 people in the town of Perryton, Texas, near the Oklahoma border. Looking ahead to this Thursday, we could get additional rulings from the Supreme Court. Correspondent Michael Kastner on the story.
Decisions on cases involving affirmative action in President Biden's student loan debt relief plan were not included in today's release of opinions. 2 cases involving Harvard and the University of North Carolina will determine if race can be used as a factor in college admissions. Meanwhile, there are 2 cases centered on Biden's plan to cancel some student loans that also yet to have opinions issued on them. There are still 18 opinions to be released for this term, with the next batch scheduled to be handed down on Thursday.
Entertainment news. Actor Pete Davidson in a car accident in Beverly Hills.
Pete Davidson is being charged with reckless driving after crashing a car into a home. In Page 6 reports the Saturday Night Live alum was charged with a misdemeanor for the crash that happened 3 months ago. Davidson was reportedly speeding behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz when he jumped the curb. Officials called the accident serious and that luckily no one was seriously injured. He's set to be arraigned on July 27th. I'm Chris Baragio.
I'm Laura Winters, USA News.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides
Did you want a large Joey? Probably not, right?
and full
No.
production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
No disclaimer.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WPF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news, Middleboro news, here on AM 1530 WVBF. Hey, Joey, what's happening?
Are you red mic? Red mic?
Every
As
week.
usual?
Every week.
And good morning, I'm Joey Driscoll. I am joined by Dawn Driscoll, as usual, every Sunday, and this is Middleboro in Review. Today's date is the 18th of June, 2023. It is also Father's Day, so I want to say Happy Father's Day to Dawn Driscoll.
Thank you, Joey.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Thanks. That's awesome. At least you could say that in this setting, whatever. But thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a good day. It's Dad's special day, but Mother's Day is more special than Father's Day. I mean, you know, something about Mother's Day.
Both are special.
Well, Mother's Day a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because,
Yeah.
but Because a lot of fathers don't care. All mothers do, though. You can interview every mother out there, and they care. But, so it's good to care, I guess. But thank you very much, and
You're welcome.
great to have you here with you on this beautiful June morning here.
Yeah.
At the center of the universe at WBBF Studios at 14 Church Green in Taunton, Massachusetts. We are here ready to start our show. I feel good. I got my coffee, and things are good.
And keyword is indeed beautiful. It is beautiful outside. No rain in the forecast today. Might get a little cloudy later on, but no rain, which is a good thing. Currently in Middleboro, it is 60 degrees, a high of 73 later on today, with a low of 52 this evening. Again, possible cloudy skies, but that's it. No rain in the forecast. Tomorrow, 73 degrees with a low of 52 in sunny skies for June 19th, Juneteenth tomorrow as well. So, Taunton weather, 59 degrees, mostly sunny skies, high of 73 and a low of 52, and the same thing for Monday, high of 73 and a low of 52. Driscoll, Texas, mostly sunny skies, a high of 79 with a low of 79. So they're at the low right now, and a high of 105. It will be in the triple digits every single day this week. No rain in the forecast. So it will be hot in Driscoll, Texas. 56 degrees and mostly sunny skies in Driscoll, North Dakota. A high of 84 today with a low of 56. Tomorrow, 91 degrees in sunny skies. And that's the last time you're going to see some sun in Driscoll, North Dakota until between Tuesday and Sunday. Rain in the forecast every single day. High of 94 on Tuesday and rain in the forecast. So those who are living in Driscoll, North Dakota, maybe watch out for some severe weather that could pop up. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, 94 degrees and rain usually is not a good mix.
No.
So anyone living in Driscoll, North Dakota or that area, definitely watch the skies on Tuesday for severe weather.
It gets creepy when it happens around here, and people should realize that when it's that hot and we have bad storms coming in, it's not a good recipe.
No, it's not.
So always kind of look at the sky and be prepared to take shelter where you can take shelter. You want to get yourself in a situation. That's one thing that frightens me is possible tornadoes. That's always scared me. I believe it was 2010. I'm not too sure. Just guessing, but I think it was 2010 or 2008. There was I think it was an F4, F3 or F4 tornado hit the ground in Westfield, Mass, and went 39 miles, and it went through this, and it devastated. I mean, you talk about clearing. It looked like they were clearing this forest out for the expressway. Looking at the damage, and what was that town we went to? It was right outside Palmer, Monson, Mass. That's what it was. That got hit bad, and I remember Joey and I took a ride to check it out, and we dropped in, talked to the police department, and I asked them. I said, "How bad was it when you went through here?" And the police officers on duty said, "I was here, and it was terrifying." It came out of the hills. And Monson, Mass is sort of a valley town, so you could see where it came out of the woods and just kind of lifted up a little bit. It was at a particular elevation, and then went back up to the woods, up to another high peak. But you could see, you could look at it. It looked like Mass DOT is putting in a new highway. And that went on for 39 miles. It went from Westfield, Mass, and I think it ended somewhere in Sturbridge. So, I mean, Mother Nature can get really angry sometimes, and it's we're little specks on a map compared to what Mother Nature can throw at us. But tornadoes is, oh my God, that out of everything that I experienced, been around, I came close. Tornadoes frighten me the most. The closest I think I've gone through a tornado in my lifetime was when they had a 1997 touchdown in Whitman, Massachusetts. I was driving home from work on Route 18. I lived in East Bridgewater at the time, and looking in my rearview mirror, and it looked like the end of the world in my rearview mirror. You know, looking, I'm like, wow. And then it was getting close, and I was getting, you know, I had my cellar door open at the time, which wasn't, well, my bulkhead, but the house wasn't connected to the cellar, so it was outside. So I was standing in the driveway waiting to run in and batten down the hatches, and you know, never came up as far. But I know Whitman got hit back in 1990. I think it was like maybe April of 1997. I think it was May 1990. Whitman, Mass got hit hard, and they call that a funnel cloud, or I'm not sure if they considered it a tornado. Maybe a funnel cloud. They had a different name for it, but I remember Mass DOT was there helping out, cleaning up the next day. But that was close as that a tornado got to me, but it still frightens me.
So that tornado you were talking about, Westfield, I believe that it was a part of the 2011 New England tornado outbreak.
Oh, 2011 it happened, huh?
Yes, June 1st, 2011,
Yep,
a total
exactly, June
of
1st.
6 tornadoes touched down in both western Massachusetts and western Maine. The strongest was a long-track, high-end EF3 tornado that caused significant damage in the city of Springfield, as well as several cities and towns in the area. By the end of the day, 3 people had died, 200 were injured, and over 500 families were left homeless. So this was a pretty serious tornado.
That was the 39-mile one. Did it say that?
Yeah.
Surprised the article didn't say anything about Monza, because Monza got hit bad. I remember it made the news.
$227 million in damage. And that's in 2011 dollars. It's probably a lot more now.
Yeah.
With inflation.
Yeah, no.
But confirmed tornadoes. There's an EF1 northwest of Bethel in Maine. Brief tornado that touched down in the northwest of Bethel, snapping and uprooting numerous trees. Tree limbs were thrown up to half a mile away. South of there was an EF3 south of Westfield to downtown Springfield to southwest of Charlington, and that is Hampton in Worcester County.
Was that the 39-mile one, you think?
This was the 37.5 mile one.
That's the one that went through Monson. Remember going to Monson? We took a ride and checked out how bad Monson got.
We did, yes.
Yeah, that was bad. And you looked up on the hills and you could see it. It looked like a 6-lane highway. It's just, it's just. And I saw something like that in '89, Greenland, New Hampshire. They had a touchdown too. And I remember driving down one of the side roads and just saw it. It just looked like, again, the only way I can describe it is they're clearing for a highway. I mean, we're right across the street, and you can look down, and it's just every tree for a width was leveled. So that's just horrifying.
An EF1 and East New Portland to south of Embington, which is in Somerset County in Maine. A tornado touched down in a rural area of Somerset County. Damage was confirmed to trees along with the entire path. Winds were estimated at 90 to 100 miles per hour. In EF1 in Wilbraham, Massachusetts, numerous trees were downed and large limbs were snapped off some trees, and numerous trees uprooted, some which fell into homes and across roads. In EF1 north of Brimfield in Hampton County, and this is in Massachusetts, over 192 buildings were heavily damaged or destroyed, with many homes leveled and 1 woman killed at Village Green Campground. The tornado reached its peak width of 1/2 mile wide, decimating Brimfield State Forest. Northeast, and then there's finally an EF0 in Fiskdale, that is Worcester County in Massachusetts. Damage mostly limited to trees, however, 1 fell on and damaged a home. But the most deadly tornado and the most damage The most deadly tornado was the EF3 in Westfield to Springfield. And then the one that did damage in Brimfield was one that really caused a lot of damage. That was the EF1. So that's just a little summary of the 2011 New England tornado outbreak. We were talking a little bit about that. So it is 7:20 a.m. We're going to take our first commercial break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about blood drives. There's a couple of blood drives coming up in Somerset and Swansea. We'll be talking about that. There's one coming up in the month of July. We'll be talking about summer reading. We'll be talking about the Taunton Lodge of Elks. Their event, they do a lunch every month for enlisted military members. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've been talking about that for months on this show. We talk about it every month on the show. We'll be talking about Day of Portugal and much more. So stay tuned. A good show here planned for everybody. It is 7:20 a.m. I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Dawn. Today is the 18th of June, 2023. It is Father's Day. You're listening to Middleboro in Review on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. We will be right back. If I did that, there we go. There we go. It's 152.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor and participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a non-profit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join,
I want to do a little
please visit
safety little announcement if I could.
We'll do that next.
All right,
Let's do that next because I gotta look something up.
All right, yeah.
While you do that.
Yeah, well, I only got like 20 seconds, so.
I want to talk about summer reading.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look up a book that I read for summer reading that I want to recommend to people.
What book was that? That was the one you told me about the other day, right?
There's a book I read for summer reading. I think it was during middle school. It's called Spirit Bear. Very good.
Oh, really? What's that about? That's good, huh?
Well, I'll read. It's been a while since I read the book, and you know, I tend to forget. I haven't read a book in a while. I haven't sat down and read an entire book in a very long time, like 5 or 6 years.
You still got the attention span to read, you think?
I probably could. Yeah, I probably could, but I just.
You gotta find something you really like.
Yeah,
and not every. I mean, you can look at a cover of a book and look at it, but then you start reading it, and the author's a dud or whatever. He doesn't. I don't know. Really, you know. He can tell you a lot about that. Is Kevin. Kevin is. Oh my God, he's read so many books. You know, he can really articulate on how different authors, really got him going. The other ones just put him to sleep. You know.
To learn more
Very
about
typical.
Combat
I like when
Veterans
authors just get out of the box.
and how you can join or support, please visit
You know.
CVMA.
Slow starts are tough when you're reading. You know?
Yeah.
So you need the books that just get right out of the box.
This is Martha
I think.
Fulton, your host for Medicare Moment with Martha. Each week, we
I mean, if an author wants people to read their books for a career or a lifetime, you got to grab them. You know.
It's fascinating, fast-paced, and fun. As we
So I'd say most authors, when they start books, if they want to grab somebody, they got to get right out of the box in the first 3 or 4 books of their career, and then if somebody really likes them, then they get, then they can start slow. But when you start slow, the best way is to start slow. I really, but.
Yeah. 2, 2, 3. Got it. Okay, I'm
Hi,
not
this is Jim
on
Lockett.
Wikipedia for
Hope you can
that.
join me every Sunday from noon to 2
For
o'clock
what?
here on WBBM.
For the book
The
I'm
Sounds
looking
of
at.
the Emerald Isle.
No.
We'll have some great Irish music, some folk, traditional, country, and contemporary, and sometimes some live singers in the studio. And to make you laugh, some Irish comedy. That's Sunday.
How long did we lose power for last
right
night?
here on
I don't know.
WBBM.
Were you sleeping?
1530 Taunton, Middleboro, and on the internet at Hometown
I wonder why we lost power. It wasn't stormy yesterday, was it?
Yeah, it was raining.
Yeah.
It was raining last night.
It wasn't blowing, was it? No.
I don't know what happened.
No. You don't remember how long we lost power?
No, we just went out.
For how long?
About like a couple hours.
Really?
An hour or two, yeah.
What time was that? About 8 o'clock?
Yeah. Whatever. Okay.
Maybe they were fixing the problem from the other day with the lightning strike. Maybe that was the time. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I found it. Alright. You're red, Mike. Alright, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we are back here on... Oh, let me turn my mic up. There we go. Now we are back here on Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Don. And Don has something he wants to talk about.
It's Father's Day, and there's a lot of people out about going to see Dad, Granddad, or grandfather, or whoever. I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of time with the family, and this is a special time for a lot of people. But keep in mind, the state troopers, the EMTs, the city and town police officers out there doing their jobs, especially on the highways. Try not to give the state police a reason to pull over. Just obey all traffic. Just keep them off the highway. That's the whole thing. I mean, you're buzzing along and you're not looking at your speed. A lot of times it's not intentional too. I think people just lose track of their speed or whatnot, and they find themselves going a little too fast, and then law enforcement has to get involved, pull you over, and do whatever. But you want to keep all the men and women who are working in police, fire, EMT safe. You don't want to get them out on the highway. You don't want to be taking a state trooper out of his car to pull you over and be on the side of a highway. And always move over too. If you do see someone pulled over, lights or fire trucks or whatever, just try to keep that in mind, because the people who work emergency services, they have families too. They want to go home to their loved ones. And every time I hear about an accident on the highway, it's needless. It's all needless if people are not paying attention. Just try to pay attention. Those lights you can see you can see far away. So if you see a police vehicle having someone pulled over on the highways or even on the secondary roads, just move over as much as you can. And if you're in the lane, in the left lane, try to let people move over who are in front of you. Just keep that in mind. It's real important that everyone gets home. There's no reason at all for anybody to get killed on the side of the highway. There's not. I mean, you have plenty of time. You have notice. Okay, and if you can't move over, especially on the move over law, slow down. what I try to do, because again, I'm in the right-hand lane, and maybe it's a corner, and you see the police officer, or the fire truck, or the ambulance, or even a wrecker or a tow truck, got their lights on. Even a Mass DOT truck, you're supposed to move over for those guys too. They're doing some work on the side. You try to move over. But if you can't for some reason, I just slow down. I put my flashes on and I slow down. I slow down to a reasonable speed. But it's the guy in the left-hand lane, or the person in the left-hand lane isn't letting me move over. I have my directional on, and so that's important too. If you're in the middle lane and you see that, note that the people on the right-hand lane are looking to move over. And if they got to be in the law, they want to get away. So you have to let them move over. You don't want to start an accident trying to move over too. That's wrong too. Jamming on your brakes and almost stopping on the highway. I mean, if you can't read the law, it's either make an effort to move over. If you cannot move over, go at slow speed and be cautious. I usually throw my flashes on and go by cautiously. But I always try to move over. I'm always awake. It's just be careful out there. It's Father's Day. Everyone wants to go home safe. And I drive for a living, and I see a lot of stupidity out there. I see a lot of people who are not paying attention, a lot of texting and driving still going on. Even people drinking coffee, eating sandwiches, all that stuff. It's just, what happens if you hurt somebody? No matter how you're going to feel. That's all. And it's good people who hurt other people, and they don't want to hurt other people. It's just a bad accident. It just happened. But you want pain? It's neglect. Don't neglect the things. Don't neglect your responsibilities of being on the road. You can always pull over. And we had a state trooper who was killed a few years ago because she was responding to someone who pulled over on the highway. This person was playing with their GPS. You don't pull over the highway to reprogram your GPS. You get off the next exit, find a nice safe parking lot, and then you can do all the programming you want. Phone calls. The state police are going to pull over and check if they see a vehicle on the side of the road. That's their job, because you could be having a medical situation and be in need of help. And that's what they're there for. But now you're pulled over because you're playing with the GPS and you're lost or whatnot. They have to pull over. And then in that case, there was an accident. State trooper was killed. That's just senseless, in my opinion. I just think everyone just needs to just get to your destination or pull over in a nice little parking lot and you can do all the texting and you can do all the programming you want, but you're not doing it on the side of the highway. Never pull over on the highway unless it's an emergency.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
All right. Blood drives. The towns of Somerset and Swansea invite residents and members of the public to participate in upcoming blood drives, hosted along with the American Red Cross. The Somerset Council on Aging building, located at 115 Wood Street, is the site of these blood drives, and the next blood drive will be Monday, July 24th, from 12 to 4:30 p.m., and then they'll have one Monday, September 5th, Monday, November 13th, and Monday, December 18th. No times have been announced for those 3 blood drives. Donors must register for a donation time online ahead of the clinic they wish to attend by visiting redcrossblood.org. Anyone 17 years and older can participate and can donate blood as long as they are in good health and weigh at least 110 pounds. There is no upper age limit for donating, so you could be 100 years old and donate blood. So as long as the individual is feeling healthy and well and meets the other criteria. In Massachusetts, a 16-year-old may give blood as well, but they are required to have a consent form signed by a parent or legal guardian prior to donation. So again, blood drives coming up. Again on July the 24th. And of course, there were some changes as well to the guidance for giving blood if you've been exposed to mad cow disease as well. That has changed believe that happened in October. That changed this past October. That changed, so that there's now new guidance for that as well. That you can give blood now. For that, so there was a new change to that again this past October. And we want to talk about summer reading. Join the Taunton Public Library for their summer reading kickoff party on June 24th, Saturday, June 24th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the library is located at 12 Pleasant Street. There will be games, prizes, arts and crafts, pony rides, a petting zoo, and fun for the whole family. The Taunton Public Library Summer Reading Program is a self-paced, non-competitive program designed to help children track their reading and expand their literacy skills over the summer. And that led me to thinking about books that I've read when it comes to summer reading. And any of the teenage-aged kids, middle school-aged kids out there that might be listening to this show, there is 2 books I want to recommend that I've read, well, at least read one of these myself, for summer reading. And the book is called Touching Spirit Bear. It was written by Ben Mickelson back in 2001. Little brief synopsis about it. After his anger erupts into violence, Cole, this is the last name of the main character, is in order to avoid going to prison, agrees to participate in a sentencing alternative based on the Native American circle justice, and he is sent to a remote Alaskan island where an encounter with a huge spirit bear changes his life. This gripping, graphic survival story from the award-winning writer Ben Mickelson paints an unsparing picture of one violent teen and offers a poignant testimony to the power of pain that can destroy and may also heal. So that's Touching Spirit Bear. There was also another book written, a sequel to this, called Ghost of Spirit Bear, which came out in 2008, I believe. And that is also, I didn't read that one yet, but I heard some good things about that. So that's my summer reading recommendation.
How old were you when you did that one? What grade were you?
Middle school.
Middle school?
Middle school, yes.
Okay.
That's why I mentioned middle school.
Is that something you just read on your own, or is it something that you were...
That was something that was given.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe, by, was it 8th grade? I think it might have been 8th grade where I read that.
Right.
That was the assigned book, and I ended up really loving it. It's a great book.
Okay.
For sure.
Nice. There's one other thing I noticed when I was driving down 105. I noticed it last week. I'm not sure. I don't head 105 towards Halifax a lot. When I roll out to work, I usually go the highway. But recently, I've been going to my shop in East Bridgewater, so I've noticed that Pine Street and off of Route 105, Thompson Street is, I believe that bridge is closed now. You used to go cut through to 106 there to take you out, and then you eventually work your way out to 27 that way, Main Street, Panson. Looks like that little bridge that was always like one lane for the longest time, for the last few years anyway. Looks like the road is closed, and I'm assuming it's because of the little bridge there. So keep that in mind. You just got to go up further at 105 and loop around. There are detour signs there. I did notice that, and they paved that road nice over in Halifax. So they're really getting around to the roads. Let's try to notice something in Middleboro every week. A little detour or some sort of something that you might want to avoid, or maybe some construction. If I run into it, I'll try to let everyone know. But I know that detour is relatively new within the last 3 weeks anyway. Because I didn't remember seeing the sign. But like I just started going in that direction in the morning. I normally go the other way out to 44. So, but it's not much of a detour. It's it's just a 2-minute detour around it. But there was like a little right before the bog fill on the left hand side there, like heading towards 106. There always been a little bridge, a little creek there. So I think that bridge might be compromised or being fixed because it was always in one lane for the longest time. And I was surprised I didn't see weight restrictions there at that point, but I think they might be doing something with that bridge. I'll look into it. I'll get a ride to that, and we'll, because we're going for ice cream today, Joey, right? If we
Yes.
get in there, right?
Yes.
Yep, because it's Father's Day.
Yes.
And what means that? What's that mean?
Ice cream.
For me? Right?
For you.
Yeah, I guess it's getting me ice cream.
I'm paying.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, okay. I know what I was going to say now. To wrap this up in a nice little bow when it comes to summer reading, I want to ask this question to Don. Don, have you ever done summer reading for school?
Yeah.
Number one. That's question number one. And two, what book that you read for summer reading that you liked the most?
The Outsiders.
Yes.
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders, yes.
Actually, that was a book that school gave us, The Outsiders. And when I read it, I read it in junior high. And then when I finally saw the movie, I loved it.
The movie is really good.
Oh, I love because the cast in that movie is just great.
The movie is really good. That's definitely a movie recommendation for me.
And I also liked reading the Hardy Boy books, too. And I also read a couple of Nancy Drew books, too.
I never read any Nancy Drew books. I think
They're
I might
great.
have read one.
I think I read like 3 or 4 of them.
I think I read one Hardy Boys book.
I think in this day and age, as far as how everything, everyone just reads their phone, or they're not really tuned into reading because of the nature of all the computers and the phones and
the technology
the
now.
Technology,
Yes.
it just takes away from a hard print book. But if you give it like a 12-year-old girl a Nancy Drew book, or even to today's age, Nancy Drew is everything that's good about a girl, a woman or a girl, rising up and being smart and being, figuring out the clues. And it's just, I think most girls should look up to someone like Nancy Drew. Because, I don't know, because it's just the whole... she uses her brain, to figure out all these mysteries. And it's funny, too, because a lot of the cartoons, there's a lot of mystery cartoons that came up in the 70s, too, because when I think those books were late 60s, mid-60s, I think, early 70s, all the Nancy Drews, and then the cartoons came up, and I think a lot of good little girls liked the idea of being like Nancy Drew. They were like it, and it would be nice to see them come back to that than some of the characters that are out there on the phones, because it's nothing noble. A lot of them. I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but and I see younger kids like up to 8 to 11, and I see what their games are, and it's just I just shake my head. It's just like, how can you look up to How can you look up to this?
Yeah.
It's all I don't know. It's all me. It's all materialistic. Trying to get further up the ladder. It's just there's nothing noble about it. I think a Nancy Drew book for a girl to read, they're outdated, They're like, the original books, but they had the series too in this late 70s. Sean Cassidy and Parker Stevenson was the not Nancy Drew, but was the Hardy Boys, and I'm not sure who played, but they had a Nancy Drew series too, and sometimes they'd get together, and that was like late 70s, early 80s, and it was always on Sunday nights. I remember that. I think it was ABC. But I really enjoyed watching it because it was simple. It was nice. It was, everything's just so corruptive. It's just I don't know. It's just, I guess everyone's looking for that, to go back to that innocence, I guess, in life. But there's no reason why you can't go back and visit that. I know it's impossible to put your cell phone down. I mean, I can't live without it.
There's a lot of TV shows now that have changed so much from when they first debuted and they first appeared on the kids' side. SpongeBob, for example, has changed so much. I don't really watch that too much anymore. I used to watch all the old episodes when it first debuted, and that was the best part of the series, is like right at the beginning, and those first couple of seasons, and then eventually it just changed.
Well,
too much.
it's changed. It's changed. Everyone thinks that they reinvent the wheel when it comes to things. I mean, the whole idea of consistency is ideal, from watching programs to reading books to even going to your favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
Because if they keep changing the recipe and the menu, and it just, I don't know, they want to keep reinventing themselves. I don't know. Maybe there's a portion of people who like things that are different. But my opinion is, if I'm going to this restaurant, the only reason that's keeping me coming back is the consistency of the restaurant, the consistency of the menu. Maybe you got companies that changing their vendors all the time. So if you go to this restaurant and you like their food, say you like their roast beef subs or something like that, you say, I love coming here, it's a treat, I'll come here at least once a week. You count on me once a week to come and buy a sub, whatever. They change the recipe, they change not the recipe, but they change their vendors, and then you come back and I don't like this. Is this the same one? Oh no, we got a new vendor. I'm thinking to myself, why? You know what I mean? And then you might go back, and then you don't go back. So in a way, it's just, you kind of want loyalty in a situation when it comes to a customer base, in my opinion. I have customers who call me. I've had a customer who called me just last week. I worked at her yesterday. 5-6 years ago, she called me. I take care of the whole family. They have 5 sisters. All 5 sisters call me. All right, and I think back about 18 years ago, I did a job for the father and the mother and the father. So it's a second generation customer base that I provide a certain service. I'm consistent. I show up, nice, this, that, and the other thing. Enough of these people to be loyal and call me back and not go around shop around. They don't even shop around. Yeah. They could probably shop around and find someone cheaper, but they keep me. Yeah. I feel that's the same way as a restaurant. You go to a certain restaurant, it's a certain consistency that you enjoy, that you want. A lot of people are going to be going to dinner today. Taking dad to dinner. Let's go to dinner. Let's go have something to eat. Let's go to any of these restaurants in this area. And there's a couple of restaurants out here there's one in Taunton in particular, in Taunton Center, that's really good. I've been there about, 12 times, 13 times. And every time I go there, I like it. So there's your consistency. It's there for you. They didn't change the menu. They didn't change the recipe of the food. They didn't change vendors. You can tell that. And it's important to me. You want things to change, well, you just go to different restaurants. You try different foods. In my opinion, that's your change. But you don't change. Can't change meatloaf too many times, right? No. I'm a big meatloaf guy. I love meatloaf. I want to eat meatloaf, right? Yeah. You go to this place, has the best meatloaf in your opinion. Then they change the recipe. They change the food. They change the ground beef. They change the sauce. And this is like, oh, this wasn't what I had a week ago. Oh, well, we tried something new. Why?
Yeah. I don't think people should change things that are working.
Me too. If it's not broke,
agree.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Exactly.
That's just
exactly. All right. It is 7:47 a.m. We're going to take our last commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do our Today in Histories, and then the final couple of minutes, we'll do a little bit of a transportation topic. We got South Coast Rail to talk a little bit about, maybe a little bit of MBTA. Definitely South Coast Rail, for sure. So we'll be right back here on Middleboro in Review on 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. I'm Joey Driscoll, and you're listening to WVBF.
Yeah, let everyone know that I think this week after 7:30, I'm not sure if it's going to affect up to the 30th. They're busing commuter rail between. I wonder if they're shutting the red line.
I'm going to look that up.
I think they're shutting the red line. That's crazy.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
Well, they're shutting the commuter rail down because they're working on the red line. Maybe they need the tracks to bring the.
Trading post, they have everything you need for spring. They have annuals, hanging baskets, fruit trees, and much more.
I don't understand why.
No, I don't know. Be extra solid. Construction.
586 Wareham Street in
There we go. Okay, we're good.
Were you off the air for a second?
No, I hit the mic to put it in program, but I thought I had to hit a prompt on my Gmail.
How'd you knock that over? It's the first time, huh?
For the behind-the-scenes stories of those who risk
Because I was going to my Gmail app because I thought I had to hit a prompt for two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication.
What, during the middle of
Yeah, kind of to log in here, but it just logged in for me. I don't know why I did that this time. Whatever.
and let everyone know you're doing the news tomorrow, too.
Give Nicaragua Landscape Supplies a call today at 508-947-5363 for same-day delivery service. He offers mulch, stone, and wood chips. He also offers granite bird baths and Yukimi lanterns. Visit his new location at 364 Main Street in Clinton, 1 mile from Tractor Supply in Carver.
Okay. Where am I at? Okay, 163. Man, oh. Okay, come on. 1, 6, 3. Whenever I hit a number, it just
You're going too fast, Joey.
I'm not going too fast. It's just whenever I hit a number,
We gotta ask
it
Jim.
automatically hits another number.
But you gotta ask Jim how he does it because there's never any dead air with him. You gotta ask Jim. You know what I mean? Have him sit with you.
It's not me. It's the equipment.
No, it's you because it doesn't
me.
do with the Jim. I listen to Jimmy. He's right on. He's on the spot. Maybe he has stronger fingers than you.
It's
I don't
not
know.
me.
How come it doesn't happen to Jim
I
and
don't
happens to
know.
you?
It's not me. I swear.
You gotta work. You gotta work through the bugs, dude.
I'm trying. It's gotta work.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It doesn't want to work
All that
properly.
dead air, man.
May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
June 18th. Blue. Red. Good. And we're back as I turn the music down. There we go. It is 7:51 a.m. and just want to let everyone know that tomorrow, June 19th, 2023, is a Monday. I'll be doing the morning wake-up news. Tomorrow is Juneteenth. Chris is off. Chris is still off. He was off all this last week. He's off tomorrow. Yeah. So I am doing the news.
When's Chris coming back? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll do the news, and then Jim DuPont will have 2 hours of the of his show, and he'll definitely have a lot of great things to talk about on the show tomorrow. As always, it's always a great show to listen to. 2 hours of Jim DuPont. And then they'll have Ask Your Veterans Agent from 11 a.m. to 12.
Yeah, that's Mondays now,
new
right?
Day,
Yeah.
At its new day and time.
Day and time.
Yeah. Michaela Britta will be in studio for the first time since the day and time change of Ask Your Veterans Agent. She
She
was calling in last week, so she'll be in the studio.
Does she seem to like that new time?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's great. It gives you it gives you Tuesday and Wednesday off.
Yes,
2 days off in a row.
yes, it does.
How's that?
Yes, it does for me. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
That's your weekend right there.
So that's pretty cool. All right, our today in history is as follows: 1684, the charter of the Massachusetts Bay Colony is revoked via a scari fatius writ written by a English court. 1812, The United States Declaration of War upon the United Kingdom is signed by President James Madison, beginning the War of 1812. 1928, aviator Amelia Earhart becomes the first woman to fly an aircraft across the Atlantic Ocean. She is a passenger. Wilmer Stultz is the pilot, and Lou Gordon is the mechanic. 1940, June 18th, 1940, the finest hour speech is delivered by Winston Churchill, one of his most important speeches as Prime Minister during the war. 1983, during the Space Shuttle program, STS-7 astronaut Sally Ride becomes the first American woman in space. Birthdays on this day. Happy birthday to Paul McCartney, 81 years old today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So his birthday is on the 18th, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's funny, too. About a year ago, we went to, maybe I'm amazed, over in Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
And Chachi LaPret had a presentation with Eric Taros, was his name?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a great show. He did one in October for John's birthday, too, but we went to Rhode Island for that one. But that was a really good presentation that Chachi had. And actually, Chachi has something going on Friday.
Yes, he's got something going on Friday at Lorenzo's in Middleboro.
Beatles night.
Beatles night.
And we're going to be there.
We're going to be there.
We made reservations last week, so we're really excited seeing the show and maybe talking to Chachi. And hopefully we'll get him on. I'll have him call in sometime soon, or either on this show or maybe on Middleboro Matters on Joey's 11 o'clock a.m. show on Thursdays.
The other birthday I have is 1961. Oz Fox, the American singer-songwriter, guitarist, and producer for the band Stryper. Great guitarist. And he was the singer, technically, of Stryper after Michael Sweet left. Michael Sweet left in the 90s, mid-90s for a little bit. Michael Sweet did a couple of different things. He was in Boston for a little bit, Michael Sweet. So Oz Fox did a little bit of singing on tour for Stryper, and then Stryper broke up after that. Until 2005, I believe it was. They're now back doing music, and they are a very good band. Very good Christian rock and roll band.
They still doing like the Christian
Yes,
music?
they are. Yes, and they're very good.
Well, that was their whole thing. I mean, of a whole field of bands, they were the one Christian band that people could get behind.
And, well, they got a lot of criticism as well. They got a lot of criticism as well.
Why? Just because people like to criticize?
Because people like to criticize, yes.
Yeah,
exactly. They got a lot of criticism as well.
I mean, that people make a living just criticizing people. That's their job.
Yes.
You know, there's always the naysayers out there. And,
our passings for today, Dawn, you know this one. 2000, Nancy Marchand.
Oh,
American actress.
Yeah,
on this day.
Olivia Soprano, yeah. She was a great actress. She was great in that role. Talk about the role. Oh my God, manic depressive kind of character. Oh my God, it's just. And she worked
very good
right up to her death.
Very good.
You know, I think she had cancer and she knew it, and she just kept working.
Yeah, and she was very good in The
Sopranos. She was very good.
And 2018, Big Van Vader, also known as Vader, American professional wrestler. WWF for a very long time. Very good wrestler in the 80s. Alright, that is your Today in History's birthdays and passings for today.
I'm glad you do that early, because now we got 3 minutes left in the show, so we can kind of just talk about what we want to talk until 8 o'clock comes on, because before it just seems like it was a rush to get it all done.
Exactly.
And it's great too, because when we do that, because last week when we had Ed Shooker on, we got everyone's opinion on things, and it was kind of cool. It's like a round table situation, and I like that. I like that you have the time for that. So,
and I want to do that going forward.
Oh, I think it's great. Coming out of the last commercial break, pretty much.
Yeah, I want to do that going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun, because if you just rush it down everyone's throat, I mean, people can't absorb it. Yeah. It's just, it's just.
And that gives a chance for anyone who wants to call us.
Yeah, they want to call. Sure, that's great.
Not many people
call.
Have their opinion.
Not many people call this early in the morning, though, but some people do.
Some people do. Yeah.
But I mean,
All right. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, well,
minute and a half. I'm gonna do this quick.
Yeah.
South Coast Rail update. New Bedford. There is pedestrian bridge work. Initial work site setup and construction has begun on the new pedestrian bridge across Route 18 and Acushnet Avenue in New Bedford. That is connecting the New Bedford station. So that is weekdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And with this update, there are pictures showing where the work is as well. If you want to check this out, mass.gov /South Coast Rail construction activity, or just type in South Coast Rail on Google. Middleboro, Lakefield, Raynham, Taunton, Freetown, Fall River, and New Bedford signal system installations and testing, which has been continuing for the past several months now. In the weeks ahead, the project will be continuing to test trains along the South Coast Rail lines to make sure new signal systems are working properly. And abutters to the railroad may notice an increased train traffic and signal usage. Monday through Sunday, actually, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for this one. And finally, Berkeley Railroad access at Mill Street for signal work. Access to the railroad right-of-way at Mill Street in Berkeley is where that will take place, as well as the work that's going on at the new station site in Middleboro as well. That is continuing to move along, and it's moving along very well.
The single systems that they're putting in for the commuter rail are going to help the freight trains be safer too, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And one other thing about the construction on this week on the MBTA.
Very, very quickly done.
No, you tell them.
Oh, and what?
Yeah, the construction they're doing. They're shuttle busing around.
Oh, yes. Okay, so the MBTA is going to be doing some closures, commuter rail lines, and they'll have shuttle buses.
From South Station to Braintree after 7:30 until the 30th.
All right, so that's what's going to be happening. We'll have more on that on Thursday for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Try to catch that last train before you have to bust all around that and be detoured and whatever.
Okay, it is 8:01. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great Sunday. Well, Sunday hasn't really started. I mean, it's started, but
for some people,
it's 8 a.m. It hasn't started for some people, but it has some, like me and Don. But I have a great Sunday, everybody. And we'll be back I'll be back on Thursday with another edition of Middleboro Matters, and Dawn will be back with me on next Sunday, the 25th of June. But bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
All right, I gotta go.
Bye, everybody.